I'm fine. Hey, so I saw a post earlier and it was a woman saying she wished it was easier for adults to make friends, the same way that kids do, where they'll like give you a rock and say, "Do you want to be my friend?" And that's it. And I've seen this a lot, but I don't think it's hard to make friends. I think as adults, we think it's hard to make friends, which is what makes it hard to make friends. And I'll tell you a quick story. And I'm hoping this makes sense and people are able to use some of this as they go out on this adventure of trying to make new friends. One is my nephew. I was visiting my sister and he'd finally reached the age where he's old enough to get on the playground by himself, right? You're not the one that's holding him down the slide or kind of holding him on the swing. He's old enough to do it on his own. And he goes out onto the playground and we're sitting on the edge. And I can see the other parents also around the edges that are just kind of monitoring their kid. And he runs in and he stops in front of this one kid and says, "Do you want to play?" The kid says yes, and off they went. And I was like, that was so simple. But then I'm looking around at the parents and you can tell and I felt it for myself too, because I'm concerned. It's his first time in the mix. He's also one of the smaller ones because he's youngest. So it's also you're concerned about how he's going to manage. But I also thought about the fact that as you look at the parents that are around, the fear is not on the playground. The fear is in the audience. Because as parents, one, you're concerned your kid might fall off the jungle gym. That's fair. You might take a tumble. The other concern is that they will be rejected, that some kid will not want to play with them, that someone won't be nice to your child, right? Those are the fears and concerns of the adults. But the adults are in the audience. They're not presently in the mix, right? And I think that what happens with children that doesn't happen with adults is that kids are not attached to the outcome. A kid wants to play because he wants to play. And so when he goes, he's looking for someone to play with. And if there's no one to play with, he's just going to keep playing. Or he'll find somebody else to ask. But 9 times out of 10, the kids ask somebody to play and they go play because everybody else has the same goal. They just want to have a good time. The other thing is, as adults, we tend to look at the long term as opposed to the short term. Kids will come in and they're thinking about immediately playing. They're not worried about after we play, we're going to exchange information and we're going to be best friends forever. None of that is part of the process because they're just thinking about playing right now. And as adults, we get caught up in okay, what do I have to do? How is this going to work? And we're already thinking about long term when you just need to think about the moment, just be present in the moment. It doesn't have to be your best friend forever. There's a possibility, but even in dating, there's a possibility that you'll meet someone and they may be someone for you for a long period of time. But there's also the possibility that in this moment, that is your exchange and you all move on. It is okay. Because usually at the end of the time in the playground, it's time to go. You call your kid, it's time, let's go, come on. And you say bye, and that's it, right? That's the end of it. I'll tell you another story. And this was, in my adulthood, I remember going to a book club meeting and seeing a person at the book club, sat down, we ended up sitting next to each other, and we're talking, and I'm like, I want to be her friend. I knew it and felt it. I wanted to be this person's friend. And that was weird because most of my friends, you kind of just ended up friends. It felt like as you grew, as you matured, just based on conversations, you ended up having people that you gravitated towards. And so either way, I gravitated towards this person. And I remember thinking, wow, that was my first thought. I would be her friend. And then we just vibed pretty much at the same time, but we didn't live near each other. So it was just that was something that was cool. I'll probably see you again at the next meeting. It is what it is. I didn't think that I had to create some plan or do some magic or anything. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to be present and to be myself and to make the opportunity available for us to engage. That was the only other step, right? So if there's an opportunity to reconnect, So there was an event I think that I had learned about that I shared. Here, there's this event I'm going to. Would you want to go? That sharing information. They can choose to go, they can choose not to go. I'm not tied to the outcome because I was going regardless, but it just meant that it gives somebody else an opportunity to spend time with you. And then later on, she actually had a birthday party and invited me to the party. She invited me and a bunch of other people. But because I was interested in being her friend, I went. I also went because I wanted to go out. But I went. Right? And so we developed a relationship just from interacting with each other. But there was never any point in time where I was doing what I was doing because I wanted the friendship to be something. It was more so I enjoyed spending time with this person. I enjoyed the conversations that we had. The energy made sense. And so I continued to engage. It's now that I would say we're friends because we spend time together. We talk all the time. That's my homie. But it was never something that I decided I'm going to be your friend and we're going to be friends forever in that moment. It was a nice thought. And then I just took steps in the direction of engaging with the person, learning more about the person. And that's how we became friends. And so I know it's not easy, but I do think that as adults, we tend to get stuck in the what will happen and the potentiality of things going badly, right? Or even thinking that, oh, this person is perfect. And then you realize, actually, we're not a really good match. And so take your time. Don't pressure yourself. Just get to know someone like cool, calm, and collected. Don't be tied to the outcome. Don't expect it to go past that day in many ways. Like if you meet somebody for the first time, cool. If you exchange information, if there's, what is it that you find in common with the person, and then focus on that, right? So for me, if you know me at this point, there's Bridgerton shows. That's a big deal for me. I'm into K-dramas and what else have I been spending my time doing? But it's things that other people see what I'm interested in, and they will therefore share information about those things with me because they know about the things that I like. And the same goes for me. As I identify friends that I have and the things that they like, I will share things that they enjoy with them. So as you get to know people, or as you take the time to get to know people, allow yourself to just embrace some of the things. I wouldn't even say embrace. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. I would say to take the time to look at that's not what I'm trying to say. Listening. That's what I was trying to say. Listen. You meet someone, you enjoy them, you enjoy spending time with them. Listen to them because they will tell you who they are. They will tell you what they like. And it gives you an opportunity to share things with them that will fit them or that will suit them. And it allows you to kind of create some type of camaraderie over time. This is my own opinion on relationship building. But it's just about kind of being present. Yeah. And I know, I don't want to make this long because we're already at 8 minutes. I want to keep this under 10. But I've found that over time, I've constantly made friends as I've grown and aged, but it's also been allowing relationship to happen. So I'm not tied to it. I'm not requesting it or demanding it or requiring it. I'm just allowing it to happen. And that looks like engaging, listening to what people like and what they don't like. And when you see connection points, sharing them with someone. These are the things that I've done. Certain type of music that people like, certain type of events that people like. For me, I see something that I don't necessarily like this, or maybe it's something I think is cool, and I share it with them. You might like this, right? If someone sent this to me, I don't think it's for me, but I think this would work for you. I feel like that's worked. But, yeah, just be like the kids. Be brave. Don't be afraid to go and say hello. Don't overthink it. We already have a whole gauntlet that we're putting in front of ourselves when the reality is you just have to say hi. And be willing to have a conversation that doesn't need to lead to anything and see how it goes. that's my advice. Unwarranted, unrequested, but it was just on my mind today and I wanted to share it. So hopefully that helps somebody, and I will talk to you all soon.